Let's do it.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Romance with 3 S's. I'm your host, Chantele Francis. Here, an hour and a half in the future is Michelle. How are you doing today, Michelle? How are you enjoying the season? I haven't talked to you in a while. Give it all. Tell me everything.
I'm doing good. Apologies to anyone watching if my internet is terrible, but we're trying our best here. I'm doing good. I caught up on the episodes last night, and I'm feeling frustrated by some things. I'm still enjoying myself, but I must say, this week's episode was a head scratcher for me. I
Head
think there were
scratcher.
some editing questions I have. Okay,
We'll talk
but
about it.
but
We'll
otherwise, I'm
definitely.
doing good. Yes.
Yay. Hi, Brittany. Yes, you finally got alive. I know we're at an odd time with that second episode on a Sunday when I usually work Sundays. It was just hard to coordinate any time earlier than right now. So thank you for being here. Thank you, Danielle, for being here as well. Malcolm, first time catching alive in many moons. Hi, Malcolm. Thank you for being here. Whitney, finally my job isn't scheduling you when you're streaming. Yeah, Whitney, I feel as though you haven't been around for a while. I see you on Twitter, but I don't see you in the lives. So just saying.
I feel
Jessica's
like I'm missing
here.
out a lot by not like being caught up on the Twitter stuff, especially with like there's some drama from this week's episode, and I've heard there's some things, and I just need people to send me the things so I can read it. I just I find Twitter, I can't do it, so I need help in that regard.
I wonder if we should do like a mailbag where you just like send us your Twitter. It's like anything that happens with the challenge, Twitterverse or like Instagram, social media verse, that they just
Yeah.
send it to like an email and we can just like update ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be good. That'd be good. Willie. Hi, Taj. Made it to alive, even though I'm in Tampa and there's a huge hurricane coming. Yes, I heard because Drew, we were gonna do a power rankings tonight, but we are gonna push it to Friday. Drew was also worried about. I don't know if he's in Tampa. I can't remember where in Florida he is, but worried about losing power. So thank you for making it through the storm. Literally.
Yeah. I hope everyone is safe.
Hi, Patricia. Watching with a sprained ankle. This is making my day. I mean, I would love like watching like the challenge content if you're like not feeling well. It's actually enjoyable. I wish I had the whole season to watch. Like the fact
Yeah,
that we
me
had to
too.
stop at episode 6. That sucks.
Yeah.
Danielle says, I think Dusty won, but I'm not mad Wes stayed. We will be talking about this as well, Danielle.
This is a tough subject for me to speak of. You all know how much I love Wes, and like obviously I love Wes. I'm just confused, but we'll get into that.
Yes. Hi, before Danny. Listening while driving, we have a hurricane coming, so you must be in Florida as well. All right. Okay, so let's talk about this episode. It's called A Really Good Looking Underdog. We do learn who says this. Who says the episode title, Michelle? Do you remember? Mish?
Oh no, I don't. Wait, what was the title?
A Really Good Looking Underdog. Who the F
Wes,
else
obviously.
would say it?
Yeah, I
He's
know.
like,
You're right. No, I remember
a
it
really
too.
good underdog.
Like
Good
this
looking
whole
underdog.
episode was so like I agree with what you're saying here. I think they went too hard with the edit that Wes is going home. It like they went so hard with this edit. Like you didn't have to lay it on so thick. Like the whole episode, emotional story about him having a kid, emotional story about this, everyone hating on him, it being
Skype
potentially
call, baby.
call. He had every sign that he was going home, to the point that he even said, "Oh, I'm going home now. I'm so depressed. Oh, blah blah blah. Let me have a moment with bananas," because everyone is so clear that I'm going home. Oops, shock. I don't know, man. Yeah. Anyways. I'm getting ahead of
We'll get
myself
there.
here.
Well, we start this episode with Cassidy having won her elimination. How did you feel about that matchup? So it's Cassidy versus Alyssa L. And we've seen parts of that kind of elimination being in a cage of some sort, rolling it around, getting flags, et cetera, et cetera.
I mean, honestly, yeah, that's a pretty common one. I mean, there always seem to be really hard, especially if you're smaller. So I kind of had a feeling that it was going to go in Cassidy's direction. And Cassidy's now kind of coming forward as like a character. Like as of last week, I was like, oh, like she's becoming a character on the show now. Like she kind of wasn't for me before. And I can see her as someone who could potentially be more of a mainstay, just in terms of like someone who is gonna play and say things and try and be more of a force. I'm not saying I'm like obsessed or anything yet, but like
you're not writing any letters.
No, but she's showing some, they're showing.
Well, okay, well, how do you feel though? Also, though, when she comes back in, like she's happy that she won, of course, but she's so mad at Wes, at Wes for voting for her.
There were two votes for Cassidy. Who was the other vote for Cassidy?
I don't know.
Because and this is the other thing is, okay, like I understand. She's like, I see him lurking in the shadows. You've seen the TV show. You've seen the challenge. You know that that's what he does. So it's not you being like, ooh, he's out to get me. Like, also, wouldn't it be better, strategically speaking, to have a conversation? Like when you think someone is kind of doing something sketchy, so maybe sometimes it's worth it to go to that person and be like, hey, I'm not sure. Can we work this out? Can we maybe try to work together? And even if you don't believe it, see what they say, see what they bring to the table. You know what I mean? And like, then Wes could have maybe created a bond with her and explain and tried to kind of do his Wes thing and be like, my team is not telling me what's going on. And I'm sorry, I would never have voted for you. This wouldn't have been the situation. So I don't know. I think she jumped.
I also wonder why Wes hasn't said that to her as well.
Agreed completely. I think it's not great on either part.
Unless Wes is like, well, I need some drama on this show to make me worth my paycheck.
Agreed. And I also think that this episode, the theme of this episode for me was jumping to conclusions. Why is everyone jumping to conclusions? Dusty. Oh, come on, Dusty. What is going on here? So yeah, lots of jumping from everyone.
Well, and also though, just to kind of echo a little bit of your point with like Cassidy only knowing Wes as a personality on the show, and actually was like, so she just assumed that his actions means that he was coming for her. And like, why is he coming for her? He doesn't know who you are. Like,
there's no reason to come for you specifically. It's not about that. And if you know Wes, it's never just clear cut on the surface. There's always, you know what I mean? So it didn't really make any sense.
So I think the reason why she's reacting this way is she doesn't want to get got. And so I think she's trying to get ahead of the blind side or ahead of the story. And so, so it looks like she's in more control of like this, whatever rivalry or whatever she thinks that she has with Wes, because she doesn't want to get duped and look dumb. So I think that she's just trying to come out ahead of the story here. Well, Wes finds it annoying. She says that she's like a little dog that's just yapping, an ankle biter dog on Wes's tail. Brittany here thinks Cassidy is a lot more annoying than she thought she'd be. I mean, I like Cassidy, but I am finding her unfounded frustration with Wes to not really make sense. They haven't showed me enough to make me understand that storyline. So I agree, it's kind of annoying right now.
Yes, it is kind of annoying.
Wes still wants to break up Survivor, and like, of course you're going to want to wake up the biggest alliance that's in there. There's 7 Survivor people. None of the Survivor people have gone home yet. Like, of course that's the strong entity that everybody's going to want to break up. So like, the fact that the Survivor people are so upset about it, I'm just like, guys, like, you guys didn't want the vets to be upset about the fact that you guys were coming for them, but you're upset by the fact that people are coming for you. Like, it's the name of the game, kids.
Exactly.
Name of the game. So Dusty, your boy Dusty is pissed. And he thinks that Tiffany is the one that voted for him. And she's promising that she did not vote for him, because apparently Alyssa before she went into the eliminations or into the voting
Yeah.
secret vote, she said to Dusty, I will guarantee you that 3 people will not vote for you. And so she said that. And those 3 people were herself, Alyssa S., and Tiffany, who did not vote for him. And the
Yeah.
people that did vote for him was what?
Michelle,
Desi,
Desi,
Michelle,
Chanel,
Chanel. Who's the 4th?
and
I wrote it down somewhere. We'll probably talk about it later. But I was like, get your story straight, Dusty. Like, why are you coming after Tiffany like that? And I listened to him on Challenge Mania pod, and he was basically saying that how he was super embarrassed that he spoke to Tiffany that way, and he apologized many times, and he even apologized to his wife because he doesn't want to come across that way, and he says that he's kind of hot tempered and sometimes he just like goes off, blah blah blah. But like, why did he decide to go off on her? Like, even if she was one of the people that voted for him.
like specifically her. I guess my guess is that they had some sort of
Cassidy was the other person.
Yeah, my assumption, this is just, I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Tiffany is the kind of player and person on shows who is pretty good at building
friendships and connections
that feel real,
right?
More real than other people. And so they probably have had more real connection. And so he feels way more personally hurt by the idea that she would betray and lie to him than anybody else. What I want to get into at some point is why, when they were talking about who was going to vote for who this episode, Bananas was like, well, I can't vote Tiffany. Are they hooking up?
I thought the same thing.
Like, his face made it seem like that.
I mean,
and classic challenge producers should not show it, right? If it's Bananas.
I mean,
right? Am I wrong?
I thought the same thing. We'll speculate about it more unless people have some tea here. Let's see if there's any tea in here.
Bananas could be friends with her. Yeah, maybe they're just friends. I don't know. Just he said it in a way that was like, well, I can't vote Tiffany. Like, yeah. I was like, okay, like, get it.
Since when? Like, who cares? Jessica says Dusty definitely jumped to conclusions. I was like, where was all this energy coming from, and why was he so sure that Tiffany voted for him? Weirdo behavior. Agreed.
You need to think about weird options here. Like, all you have to do is look at Michelle's face, because she's not the greatest. Like, she was clearly like covering something up, and they were all like sitting there. And it's like, if you had just taken the moment to take in other people on your team and like thought about it for 2 seconds, like, but I get it. He was in an emotional space and he was just trying to boom, boom, boom. And hey, he's also on a TV show. So it's like, obviously it's better than him being so boring. We can't say that he's super boring. He's just not correct.
He's just, I don't know, what, a Scorpio? Like, I don't know.
Is he a Scorpio?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, lol, it's classic.
That's kind of like how, what's his name? In the past, anyways, Paul used to pop off. It's that Scorpio emotionally triggered, and then also have Mars energy like coming at you. So yeah. I think that has something to do with his reactions. And Tiffany's also like, she's a Leo, so she's just chill about things. You know what I mean? And like, just kind of like, she would own up to it, I think.
She would. Well, yeah, because also like, yeah, she has a great sort of groundedness about her that like if she had done it, she would have been like, yeah, and this is why. Like, I feel.
Todd here is like when Dusty was naming people who he thought had voted for him, and one of them was Alyssa S., who couldn't even vote. Get your story straight.
Across the board, he was so wrong. And I think sometimes you convince yourself, I mean, not to bring in Big Brother, but like, even Big Brother, like, there's so many things that I see on that show too, where I'm like, oh, you're in your own head right now, and you think that you know what's happening when you have no idea what's happening. Anyway.
Well, Whitney says, I think Destiny just wanted screen time. I didn't buy it for a second. I mean, fair. Jorge says Desi told Drew on his interview that he knew Desi voted for him, and he knew of the alliance, so he thought the other 3 were them.
But also, like, whatever. I mean,
he had a lot of energy for Tiffany, and I think it's also because like he's not threatened that she's going to necessarily have any power to be able to take him out. Maybe Because, like, why wouldn't
Matthew.
she come if he knew that Desi voted for him? Why wasn't he giving that energy to Desi? I mean, I know you're saying that he was felt like a friendship with Tiffany, but still, like, anyways, if it was my friend, I would talk to her and be like, "Hey, did you fucking do that? Like, are you?"
Yeah,
Maybe
exactly.
I'd be heated, but like, I don't know if I'd do it in front of everybody like that.
It's not a good game move. He almost guaranteed himself to be voted in the next
Maybe
time.
he wanted that. Maybe it was like he was self-sabotaging.
Perhaps. And also, like, you didn't have to go in. You didn't have to go in. Okay? I'm sick of this energy. Anyway.
Desi screwed over the Desi and Survivor women, and they didn't even consider the 4 eligible Survivor women voted for him. Also, Desi didn't even count right. Yeah, I know. He thinks 3 people put 4 balls in. Yeah, he's yeah. And they're all from Tiffany. All 4 balls were from Tiffany.
Yeah. How could you do this?
So the vets were happy with the blow up. Operation Hat Trick was a success. What did you think about Operation Hat Trick? Because Matthew didn't like it at all.
I don't understand why it needed to be done the way it was done. Okay. Do I understand the idea of, like, hey, we put each a different vote on each of the different people, then we kind of have plausible deniability and blah, blah, blah. And it's just going to cause chaos. Totally. Like, I do understand that concept, but why did you have to, like, if you pick a name out of the hat and you read whoever and you're putting Alyssa and you put that name down, you know that the other names that are in that hat, you saw the list. Why couldn't you just be adults and be like, okay, you're going to vote for this person, you're going to vote for this person?
I think that was too organized. Like, I understand your point for sure. And I think it's because they didn't want them to look like they were working together. Right. So, like, I guess they didn't want to have to lie and be like, oh, I think Fessy pulled Michaela's name out of the hat. Like, I don't think they wanted to have any of that information so that they could just be like, yeah, I don't know who they voted for. Everybody was like, for themselves, you know?
So did they tell everyone that they pulled out of a hat? Do you know what I mean?
I don't think they told everybody they pulled out of a hat, but Chanel did say, I think it was Chanel, that it did cause extreme chaos and it would have been executed a little bit better if everybody that they put in the hat were really, really strong competitors. So the fact that they had like Alyssa L in there, who's like a little bit smaller, and like Tiffany, I think was another person that was maybe not Tiffany, but there was a couple other people that are in there that weren't super big or like super scary.
Tiffany was one of the ones maybe, but yeah.
But she said that Chanel said that it really did cause a lot of chaos. It worked. So they didn't show it working. And they didn't have to put in a hat, obviously.
Because then like, Bananas voted for Fessy.
Well, and I think it's just to be able to vote for whoever the F you want, maybe. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and Matt says here, like, this is the thing. I don't believe that they all voted for who they said they were going to vote for. I just thought it. Okay, you know what annoyed me the most about it? Sorry. Is that Tori was acting like she's a fucking genius.
Yeah.
For coming up with this concept of this hat trick. Wasn't even her. It wasn't even some amazing concept. It was, okay, yes, it caused chaos. And okay, you're I guess that their goal was achieved because they're no longer the main focus of everyone trying to get them out. But also think about the fact that they've lost Amanda and they've lost Johnny, and like it's like they've lost more of their people anyway. So that, yes, of course they're already less of a threat than they were in a way because they have less numbers.
But I think though, with like having everybody like, was it you? It just took them like if they all voted together for one particular person, they would know that they were an entity that needs to be dismantled. And so I think with not knowing where they voted, like, I think it just allowed them to be like, well, like, who's coming for me? It must be, you know what I mean? And like, it just, they start speculating like, well, wait, what was it them? Like, well, why would they do that? Like, it just makes them think about things. It's other than let's get the vets out.
I just think the hat thing was unnecessary about it.
The actual hat thing.
The actual hat thing, whatever.
They're just trying to
everybody vote for someone different. You can, like, who cares? Fuck it. It's a free for all. But don't tell each other you're voting for
TV.
Yeah, like we're supposed to act like Tori's now a mastermind when we've already seen the whole season where she won, where she did zero strategic choices at all, ever. like zero. Sure, she has physical prowess. No one's denying that, but like, come on. Anyways.
Hi, Matthew. Matthew says more insight on Operation Hat Trick. As per Corey and Bananas, Tori was the only person on the vets to actually vote for the person whose name she pulled. Interesting. Hilarious, actually.
When she follows through and everyone else is like, what?
But that's also good, though, that like it allowed the vets to just do whatever the F they wanted. It's better for them.
Yeah.
For them. Hi, Mary. Thanks for being here. Okay, so we see Wes gets a Skype call with his wife and dog. Oh my gosh. And he thinks that this might be his last challenge. How are you feeling when he said that, Michelle?
It was all so heavy-handed, okay? And so obviously I'd be sad for him to say, but because he's having a kid, he's never going to go in the challenge again. Corey has how many kids? He still comes in the challenge. I understand that like his life is going to change, but to me it's sort of read a little bit like I don't want to have a kid because I'm scared my life is going to change. It was serving a little bit of that. Obviously, I know that he's happy with his wife and he wants to have the kid and everything's going to be fine. And I understand it's been his life for 20 years. So yeah, there is that element of like, he has to give this up at some point, and it is a big thing to do, like to know that this can't always be something you come back to, you know, like there's a sadness to that. So like, I think I was 50-50. Part of me was like, yeah, like I feel you. And part of me was like, okay.
Now,
like,
do you believe him?
No, come on. No.
Like,
this is going to be his last season. Well, I mean, let's see what happens in the end, but it's like, this is not going to be his last hurrah. Like Mark Long came back. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't believe it.
I think they'll be doing it into their like 60s. There's going to be like the oldest all-stars ever, you know? Like
if TJ is still hosting, come on. If TJ is still hosting, we're still going to have these people coming back in. Like, absolutely.
100%. Matthew is saying that the Stride people are too smart to buy that the vets aren't working together.
Yeah.
But they didn't really go for them. I guess, kind of, but they are smart. I'm not saying that they're not smart, but
I do like that the Survivor people, not that I love all the Survivor people, but I do like that the Survivor people are having a little bit more success than we've seen in the past of strategy in this type of show, right? Like in the last season of USA, like
I mean, so two Survivor people won, so
right, but yes, yeah, I guess you're right, but like I think that collectively, maybe more like group wise, there's more going on. I don't know. The editing is strong. We did.
Dasha, like the editing is so heavy-handed. It's so annoying. Like I just want to be a little bit surprised sometimes, you know, being like, I didn't know that this is what was going to happen. But as soon as I saw that Skype call, I'm like, okay, Wes is going in for sure. Tyler and Alyssa, they start showing their relationship now because they're on the same team now. They're talking about Wes and how, like, didn't see Wes doing that much this season. So is there stuff that they're not showing us? Because, like, I don't know why everybody's so scared. Is it just his reputation precedes him?
I guess. And I was confused as to why there's a part where Banana says something along the lines of, like, you know, Wes already made his bed and it's like, I can't get him out of this one. Get him out of what? That he put a vote on Cassidy?
Yeah, he's like,
that, because as far as I'm concerned, that's the only thing that he did that was like sketchy.
And I guess like because he was on the green team, and so the fact that he was like saying that he was like held hostage by the green team and he has no voice over there, like, is that the mess?
I don't know. And it's also kind of annoying to me because every time Wes has been in a deliberation, I feel like he's at least tried to fight for his vets in some kind of way, even if it's freaking Amanda. Like, you know, like he doesn't even like I feel like he tries more than the other vets to protect, and Bananas is never going to do the same. And that is why it's just unbalanced.
Elena here loved him greeting his wife by saying, well. It was really cute.
Yeah.
It's very
so cute. They're a great they are a great partnership. I do really like them.
So we get to the daily, and everybody sees TJ's face, and I guess Tori just really annoys me all the time. But the fact that she's like such a vet and such a regular, and she knows that it's trivia, it annoyed me. I was just like, we know you know it's trivia because you've done trivia so many times, Tori. I get it.
And exactly. And also, let's get into this because I know we're all going to get into the rigging or not rigging of the elimination, but we need to get into the rigging or not rigging of this challenge because what the hell happened during this main challenge? I need you to explain it to me. Because as far as I'm concerned, as far as what I
Blue
saw,
didn't tilt.
I saw Blue losing the most at the beginning, getting the most questions wrong. Yet anytime they panned away, Blue was always a little bit less down than the other teams. And every time they lost one more, I'm like, oh, they're going to go down the same level as Green. So like that Alyssa was there. And they still lost, and they panned back, and it was the same level. I don't know if the editing was happening at different times.
I think it has to be the editing, and I think that we usually don't see all the questions, and we usually are not going to see all like the shiftings. So I think the editing just didn't tell that story accurately. That one, I think
it was. Yeah, I think it was out of order, out of whatever. Because I was literally like, Blue should have lost so many times. I'm so confused by this. How are none of them falling, and none of the like they just weren't lower than everyone, and it didn't.
I think
like
they probably just saw the like showed the same clip over and over again. I think.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I guess. Anyways,
something like
it annoyed me. It annoyed me.
Yes, it was like I had to just suspend my beliefs and just go with the flow, because I was like, if I analyze it too much, I'd be like, this is unfair, and then people are like, nothing's fair on the challenge, and like, just like watch the show. Why do you have to critique it? And I'm like, because that's what I do. So yeah, I just actually just decided just to look at the questions and just believe them when people were falling into the water. I did.
Yeah.
But something like, just to put to my point with editing, last episode, they played 3 rounds of that ring pull thing. It was 3 rounds, and they only showed 1 round for each of these people. Apparently, Lewis won his first round, and then he lost 2. And I'm not sure about Amanda, but she lost 2. So they only showed 1. So you can't really count that the edit is going to give an accurate depiction of exactly what happened when it happened. And even so with Bananas and Polly, Bananas, I believe, had 3 sandbags left when Polly had his last one. So they made it look like Banana threw his last one, and then Polly had one last one to throw, and it fell. But Bananas had 3. And so that was also cut out of order to make it have a little bit more suspense. So they take some creative liberty with how they cut these episodes.
Okay, well, annoying, but okay, is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is. All right, so the teams are playing high Q, and all the teams are on it. Each team is on a platform, and the platform's going to be tilting, and they have to stay kind of like a fly on a window. And if they lose a question or get it wrong, it'll start going more perpendicular, and then they'll fall. And the team that has the last member standing is going to win trivia. I thought these questions were pretty easy, most of them. I think I got all the ones that had nothing to do with American history. Okay, so my first question was, who directed Jaws? I'm sure everybody got this one, right? Yeah. Or except for who was Corey says Spielberg.
Classic Corey.
Say again.
Say classic Corey.
Yeah, classic Corey. Okay, so what you would know this one. Which app's slogan is designed to be deleted?
Oh, I knew it was Hinge.
Me too. I was like, yeah, as well. Do you play Texas Hold'em? Do you play poker?
I don't, but I do know that a flush is bigger than a straight, right?
100%.
I would know that. Like, I was like, yeah, I know that.
I definitely knew that because I played poker in high school, and so like every Monday
Of course
night
you did.
we I know, right? We used to like save like our dimes or like just small change, and then like we'd go and we'd just like play poker, and then like I just had this like huge bag of like small change every time like I won, like come for poker Mondays with the boys. It was like me and my friend Nikki, I think, and then it was the rest were boys. So I definitely played a lot of Texas Hold'em. Blue got that one wrong. Who's the lead singer of the White Stripes? And I was like, I even
Isn't it
know
Jack
this.
White?
Yes, and they didn't
Okay.
know that. They said,
Yeah.
I think Tyler said
Steven Tyler
Steven Tyler. I
is
was
what he
like,
said.
what? The name's
Yeah.
in the title. These people. Whose face is on the $100 bill? I knew it was Benjamin Franklin. They
Yeah.
did too. Land of 10,000 lakes. I was going to guess Minnesota, and it was right. I think someone said
Michigan.
Michigan. I was like, Michigan's not really
I
lakey,
knew it
but
was something. I knew it was with
with
an
an M.
M. I just didn't remember which one. I probably would have let someone else answer that one.
I wouldn't have said Michigan. I probably would have tried to guess Minnesota. Like Minnesota, but I'm not from the state, so I don't know 100%. Oh, thank you, Lena, for the super sticker. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Okay, this one I only knew because it was controversial, but who won Super Bowl 57? And I knew it was the Chiefs because like I remember people talking about it, and I remember being like, am I supposed to care? And it was like some sort of big deal that like it wasn't the favored team to win or something like that. So
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. So
ooh, Matthew said the
pure
curling trivia
trivia
lasted
lasted
an hour and a half, so that
hours.
may explain why it looked off. Interesting.
And why they were like, oh my God, Tiffany, you've been there for
And
so
it's
long.
like
I'm like,
5
so why are
minutes.
you waiting so long before asking the next question? I just felt like the way the editing seemed was that anytime it was blue, they would move on to the next team way faster and ask them the question right away. And anytime blue was next and the other person was waiting and it moved, they would wait so long. So they had a chance to fall. Like, I just felt like it was so unfair, but that could easily just be at like the way it seemed, obviously. But like, I was like, why are we helping blue? They don't need help. They have so many people. Like, I don't understand.
Trivia is easy to rig for sure. For sure. Sudani speaks. Hello. The way my anxiety was spiked watching this whole episode. Only yeah. As soon as I saw the Skype call, I'm like, I don't want to lose Wes. We lost Wes early on global. Like, I don't want to lose Wes early here.
Yeah,
Again.
exactly. I was
I
mentally
wasn't.
preparing myself to lose him this entire episode, which is obviously what they were trying to do, I guess.
Mm-hmm. This one I wasn't sure of. The double eagle is how much under par. I wasn't sure. The answer was
It was
3, I
three.
believe,
It's
but
three, right? I honestly probably would have guessed two, but I honestly don't know.
yeah, so it's 1 under par is a regular eagle.
I thought Eagle was yes. Wait, I thought Eagle was two. Anyways, I don't know. I've never played.
Let's just ask ChatGPT. Hold on. An eagle in golf. Let's see what ChatGPT has to say. Oh my god, why is it being so slow? Hello. Okay. I'll put the next one while we wait for chat to think. Capital of Canada. Where are you from, Michelle?
Ottawa. I was like, you're gonna guess Quebec, and I also love how someone was like Ontario, and then someone was like, no, that's a state. I was like, LOL.
I mean,
This is funny to me.
Not wrong ish. Pretty like I understand they don't know what a province is, so it's kind of like a state. Okay, in golf, the term eagle refers to a score that is 2 strokes under par on a specific hole. It's a significant achievement and represents skillful play. An eagle typically occurs on par -4 hole when a golfer makes a ball into the hole in 3 strokes, or on par -5 hole in 2 strokes. It's a rare and impressive feat in a game of golf, and achieving an eagle can greatly improve a player's overall score. Who still don't understand. Never played golf. Except for I used to have like a video game that was golf, and then I understood a little bit better then, but no. Mm-mm. So, Michelle, what year did the Civil War begin?
What did they say? 1873?
They were saying like 1700. Like
Yeah.
the answer is 1861. Red got it wrong, but yes, Mary, I was proud that they could call out some Canadian cities. It was definitely surprising.
Yeah.
Danielle says golf is boring. I'm actually been thinking like maybe I need to pick up golf because I feel like if I want to meet someone, maybe I need to meet a golfer because like I feel like
It's funny. I'm probably going golfing next week, maybe.
Out there
with some people here in Newfoundland, and it's going to be my first time. I've literally never done anything but mini golf, so I'm sure I'm going to be great. I'll tell you how many eagles I get.
Probably not any, but hopefully you'll get some.
Yeah.
Whitney says Montreal is such a bad guess, even if you don't know the answer. Like, at least say Toronto or Vancouver, right?
Yeah, like at least say something that's like a main place. And someone did say Ottawa, so I was like,
yeah,
come on.
I think was it Tiffany? Tiffany might have said it. Dusty is the first one out of the game. Oh wait, did I do? Oh, so I said the white stripes, but it was actually the first one was how many stripes, red stripes on the American flag. They got it, red got it correct. It was 7. That I would never know, but if I was American, I would. Monty got out after the actual white stripes question. Tyler got out then, Wes got out then, Michaela was out then as well. Then they asked, which show did JoJo Siwa get her start on or whatever? Did you know this one?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I was a Dance Mom stan back in the day.
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed to say it now, but when I was in university, I watched every episode multiple times. I watched the video of Maddie doing the choreography for Cry, like on loop with Tanya, like all the time. So yes, I knew that that's where she's from. Yeah, like she was on Dancing with the Stars, but that's not where
like
she
last year.
That was like recent, and you're on Dancing with the Stars because you're already famous.
Yes.
To be in it.
I didn't watch it. I was just a little bit too old to start watching Dance Moms, but I've seen obviously some episodes and I know some of the stars that have come out from there. But yeah, I definitely knew that she was on it. And I also watched Dance with the Stars, so they might have mentioned it, or maybe not. I don't know. But I remember just thinking one time I saw, maybe it was on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I saw like North really wanted to meet JoJo Siwa and then go to her house or something. And I was like, who is this really annoying person? And then I looked up, I'm like, oh, she was on Dance Moms.
So but she wasn't like a main character on Dance Moms. She came in later and she wasn't well liked at all. At the time.
She wasn't? That's sad.
No, it was sad. Like Abby, but Abby was the worst. I mean, come on, we all know this.
I've only heard of her like when she was like in a wheelchair and she's like yelling at people in her wheelchair. Lols. And so Fessel, Blue is wrong, Fessel falls. So what's the name of Taylor Swift's current tour?
The Eras Tour. Everybody
right?
knows that.
Like so easy. Red got it right. But then Josh falls, Corey falls. The U.S. Constitution has how many amendments? Alyssa this is when she was the last person standing on the green team, and she guessed 13. It was actually 27. I would have no idea.
No, me neither.
But getting lots of props from TJ.
Yeah, I mean, she was pretty like vertical. And we know that she's pretty good when it comes to like if you're smaller, obviously it's an advantage for this type of thing. And she's also pretty physically fit. And I feel like wasn't she good at endurance-y typey things?
She didn't win anything, but I don't know.
Oh, never mind. But to be honest, that season was, I didn't watch all of it, but
I mean, but this season is nuts.
Nuts. Yeah, nuts.
Very fun. What's a dodecahedron? I
knew that was 20.
Wasn't it 12?
Someone guessed 12 and they were wrong.
Okay. It was 20, was right?
Because dodeca is 20, is it not? I'm pretty sure that's what it is. That's what I would have guessed at least.
I would have guessed 10, but I think that's just decahedron.
Yeah.
Let's see. Dodecahedron is 12. In
It is
geometry, a
12?
dodecahedron is any polyhedron with 12 flat faces.
Oh, then I'm
So
completely
then
wrong.
maybe they guessed 20.
Maybe someone said 12 and then the person who actually said the answer said 20 or something. I don't remember.
Oh, but it has 20 vertices, so I guess points. I don't know. I think it's what's a 20-sided die? Oh no, a 20 die is an icosahedron, so it's 12. Someone probably
Oh, it
guessed.
was 12. Okay, sorry. I'm wrong. I would have guessed 20. I would have been wrong. Whoops.
I would have guessed 12, but I'll never mistake that one again. Like if I was going to go on one of these shows, I would be studying as if I was going on Jeopardy. I would just like learn random facts about everything. At this point, oh, Shakespeare, what country was he born in? How dare they say Italy?
What? What? Like, do they understand that what language they're in? Like, I'm just confused by that. It would even be a thought to guess a place where they don't speak
The
English.
reason why I could maybe see them guessing Italy is because Romeo and Juliet takes place in Verona. And so
Right.
maybe, but like, I don't know. I've read pretty much every single Shakespeare play. I've done the play. I know like 20 friggin' soliloquies. Like I just can't imagine not knowing William Shakespeare's birthplace.
I mean, even if I didn't know, there's no way I wouldn't guess England. Do you know what I mean? Like,
True.
I would just never not guess that. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no sense whatsoever. Dabu never met an Italian named William, but that's just me.
Like, it was pretty sad. Yeah. There's always at least one where you're like, actually, is this real? Like, are you actually not know any of this?
Even though we learned about him in middle school. Yeah, I studied, I know all of Hamlet in grade 6. So when I was 12, like 11 and 12, I learned at least that one. You know what I mean? And then we also had watched Franco Zeffirelli's version of Romeo and Juliet. We had to read Romeo and Juliet a few times. Yeah, this is when I was 12. So the fact that they don't have a clue is wild. Oh, Whitney's giving you props here. Doe is 2 and Decca is 10. So 20 is a good guess, Michelle.
Yeah, like 2 times 10 is plus 10.
Exactly. Oh, do we have any more questions? So Michelle is out there. Chanel falls as well. And Tiffany is the last woman standing, holding on. Which guitarist would play the guitar with their teeth? I actually did know this one. Did you?
Van Halen, yeah.
It was Jimi Hendrix.
Jimi Hendrix?
That was Van Halen was the wrong answer.
Oh, then no, I didn't know.
I only knew this because like Jimi Hendrix has, I think, a house in Vancouver. Anyways, I've studied him a little bit. He had like a gazillion different breeds of like bugs in his hair when he died and all this. Yeah, there's interesting facts about Hendrix. And I know some people have dated his like sons, which is interesting too.
So yeah, no, I would have gotten that one wrong too.
That's okay. That's a little bit more obscure, I'd say. He did it at Woodstock. So this last one, though, I did not know. British band that has a title, I think, of Russian Blood to the Head. I did not know that was Coldplay. But Tiffany ends up falling, and Blue wins this challenge. But TJ gives huge props to Tiffany and Alyssa for being able to hold on for so long. So as they're walking back into the house, Wes is asking Tori to help him because, Wes is on the green team, Tori is on the blue. And so she's hoping that he can help them get the vote off of him, like help save him. But it's just pretty much not going to happen. Chris wants Wes out. So basically with their deliberation, like they couldn't do anything. The vote is going to be Tiffany and Wes, but Bananas can't say Tiff. I wrote that down. I'm like, who knew? Who knew?
But he can say Wes. Like, I don't know. I think they're hooking up. I think is my guess. But
I
also, yeah.
I think I let's do a deep dive. We're gonna find out some more
And also,
information.
I'm sorry, but like, why Tori, correct me if I'm wrong. Tori is the only person who came in who's left of the women, right?
Vets, yeah.
The vets, right? Yet hardly like did all of the other vets at least vote for a woman instead of a guy when it came to like the balls and the voting? Because I feel like they didn't, and I feel like because like I don't know, I don't actually know who voted for who, but like
They might have because there are 4 votes on women.
okay, so then maybe because I'm like, come on, you at least do the bare minimum. Like they should. I understand why other people don't. I totally understand why everyone else was like, yeah, sure. Like obviously they're not going to do what he wants, and also they hadn't had a guy. You know, it was time to have a guy's elimination and la la la. So like obviously I understood it, but like it's confusing to me.
Yeah, I know that there was something that they could do to save Wes, but I just thought it was
Yeah.
just interesting that he couldn't save Tiffany. Hmm. So we see that Wes is talking about himself being an underdog, a really good looking underdog. We got the episode title here. And Wes starts going on. It wasn't an apology tour. It was a groveling tour, maybe hoping that everybody would vote in a woman just to give him a chance to stay in the game longer. The music, I lulled. It was just so like pathetic, with like him just going around begging people to like vote in a woman.
Yeah, it was clearly not ever going to work. And also, yes, I agree with, wait, what did someone say here? Tori and Bananas didn't save Wes. Tori got so mad when Amanda didn't save her. Exactly. Like the hypocrisy of Tori continues always.
Yeah, she's consistent with her hypocrisy. Give her that.
Hmm.
Um, with Wes when he was like on his begging tour, he was saying to Chanel, he's like, "You are a challenger." Like, I just like Wes, you're. I mean, it's interesting for TV, of course, but like, it's so obvious what you're trying to do here. You're trying to like butter their ego up to like make them potentially vote in a woman. Hilarious. So Michelle does tell Corey, Tyler, Monty, and Josh that it's going to be a guy's day. That's what the
Yeah.
plan is. It's not, no matter how many people Wes begs, it's going to be a guy's day. Wes is pretty upset with Bananas and Dusty, and this is where Bananas was saying that like he couldn't really like the line that was all in all the trailers when he was basically saying like he dug himself a hole. I
Yeah.
wish we understood that a little bit more.
What, yeah, like what hole is he talking about? Anyway.
And then started talking about him being an expecting father and Dusty giving him like some like encouragement, and Wes started to say, this is my last one. you know do you think that was part of his ploy, or do you think it was real?
I think it was a combination of a ploy, but also like kind of that reality sinking in for him. I'm not saying there's zero truth to it. There potentially is some truth there, but he's going to play some of it up, of course, you know?
Luciana here says Wes was campaigning was fun. I love watching him. Bananas and Tori are trash. I don't dislike Bananas. I do dislike Tori though.
Bananas, I'm never going to love Bananas. But I mean, I don't know. He has his place, I suppose, but
I mean, yeah, they have a point, because when I was listening even to the Challenge Mania pod, Derek was kind of saying like you kind of need to have these vets and just to make people watch the show, because
mhm.
it seems as though that CBS people aren't the draw for this format. It doesn't seem like they are, because they would have watched it from the beginning then, you know what I mean? If like they liked this type of show. And so it seems like it is the MTV viewers that are bringing eyeballs to the episode. So that is one of the reasons why they went differently from last season when they only had CBS people. Like they brought in some vets just to get those numbers up, apparently.
Yeah.
So Johnny does say, though, we built this house. It's our turn to protect it. And it is true. And like, I was feeling a little bit sentimental because like, I literally have been watching, growing up with these shows in my life. Like I was at the same age as them when I was watching The Real World and Road Rules and like the beginning of the whole, like I watched it in real time. And so it is getting a little bit sentimental, even for me being like, well, I don't know if I want them to put down the torch because like, is it going to be the same still? Like,
Exactly.
I don't know. So I understand that they want to protect their house that they built. But Desi doesn't believe this sob story. Now, I can understand not believing a sob story for sure, but we also heard from Matthew that apparently Desi is involved. Desi was unfollowed by Wes. So does anybody in the chat know any more about what went down?
Yeah, I'm not sure. And watching the episode, yeah, it seems like Desi has disdain for Wes, but if I'm being honest, I feel like her disdain is equal to like Bananas. Like she's voted Bananas in multiple times without question, has wanted Bananas out equally as well. I just think she sees the vets as people that she doesn't want to work with, that don't have her back, and that she doesn't want to work with. Like, I'm not saying I agree with her decisions, but I think she's very level-headed and strong and great. And I didn't see it as like, from my perspective, I didn't see it as like, so like, oh, I hate Wes. It was more like any of those people. But then in this particular episode, it was focused on Wes because he was the one going in, kind of thing.
So Luciana here's guesses that Wes is thinking about retiring, but mostly that he knows how to make good TV and Raising the Stakes is good TV. It's true. And I mean, never say never, because like Leroy retired. He like, did that even last 2 years? No. And it kind of reminds me of like me saying like, I've retired from working in restaurants many times. I'm like, I'm never doing this again. And then like my best friend opens a restaurant and I work there twice a week and I manage when she's out of town. I'm like, I thought I was out of here. So you can feel one thing one day and then it changes to next for sure. So we get to the secret vote. And somebody said that Wes is the elimination king. Is that true, chat? Is that true?
I think it is.
Is he won the most out of everybody?
I don't know. It's possible.
I mean, he's won a lot, of course, and he's been on a lot of seasons. And he's had to go down and defend his spot many, many a times. We learned, though, when we get to the elimination, that Alyssa received 2 votes. Michaela 1, Chanel 1. Dusty got 7 out of 11 votes, and he is heated. He thinks that they are a bunch of cowards on his team. How do you feel about Dusty being heated again?
Yeah, I just didn't care at that point, to be honest with you. I'm like, just go in. But also like, yeah, I'm here for him trying to make his mark and show that he's like kind of a hothead. If they do a season, if they ever do another season with like Inferno type vibes, or they have like people who are hotheads and people who are calm, like, or something crazy like that, like he could make a mark from, he could get invited back potentially, which I think is very difficult for someone from The Amazing Race. As we've seen, it's apparently very difficult to get cast if you're from that show. So, I mean, hey, I can't fault him for it, but you know.
See, Daddy says Dusty didn't realize he was a layup of the men.
Yeah.
Well, when he was on the pod that I was listening to, apparently he does for fun, like triathlons. So
He seems pretty in shape to me.
He's pretty in shape. And I think that he would probably be very good at the final. Like, if he got to the final, like I could see him doing quite well. Quite well. All right. So they're going to be playing Crank Shafted. Shafted is right. I think Dusty might have been shafted. I don't know. But basically, have we ever seen an elimination challenge that was timed and in 2 parts like this?
Not in Not necessarily, no, because like there's the ones where you have to undo the rope, but and then do the other person's. But usually, obviously, then it's obvious whoever gets their rope untied the best or whatever first. I don't know that we've seen one specifically like this. I absolutely hated this elimination. Obviously, I think it's so
Well,
unclear.
it was boring. Like
It
to
was
see people
boring.
untie knots, but
It
like
was
not at the
very
same time as
boring.
anybody else. Yeah.
It didn't feel like an elimination. The knots didn't seem that confusing.
Like this
It
would
was a
work.
huge advantage to go second also
Mhm.
because you can see what's going on. You can literally see the person doing it. You can see, okay, they already went to the first one and tried it first, so I can like skip this. Like it
I mean,
going
I thought that
second.
was definitely, no matter what, a miscalculation of Wes to not just put the first one on and then go and put the second one on right away. Like instead of
Yeah,
taking some time to try turning it, I was like, it's not going to work. You're not going to have enough
yeah,
leverage. Like
yeah.
get the second one and start from there. So I immediately thought, I was like, oh, that was a miscalculation, in
Hmm.
my opinion. I agree with you. It's a disadvantage to go second. Also, like, couldn't they have had a clock going so like you could see the time going, and you know what I mean? You'd legit see, but like that's why it's so sketchy. Now,
And it's so sketchy too because they could have edited it in a way where it seemed like Wes was going fast. I mean, I understand that they were trying to shock us, but why were the other players shocked? Why were they shocked? Because it seemed so clear that Dusty went so much faster and Wes fell sooner. So
no,
why?
I guess it just must have, like, I mean, if we're going to believe that the producers were accurate and this was what happened, Dusty must have taken 30 seconds longer, 40 seconds longer doing those knots, but then was really fast at knocking him off. And I think that maybe Wes was a little bit more balanced in, like, you know what I mean? Like in like the
Yeah.
time it took or whatever. So it was hard for it to stand out as being in the entirety faster.
Listen,
But it was odd.
I 100% wish that, like, I want to believe, okay, that he actually won. Totally. Uh, but it's very hard to believe. But then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try to believe that he actually won. Obviously, I'm happy that he's still there. Obviously, I want him to be there. But to the point that I almost fast forwarded Dusty's round because I was like, okay, he obviously lost. Like, Wes obviously lost. Let's just get to it. And then I went back because I was like, wait. And then I like went back and watched because I was like, wait, what's going on here? You know what I mean? Because I just expected. I was like, oh, okay, well, I know what's going to happen now. Like, this is so annoying. Anyway.
It is. It was. I was surprised, and especially since they took it so far as like after Wes is like, oh, and he's like crying, and then Bananas goes down to be like, don't worry, man. Like you're still an amazing champion, whatever he said, and then how TJ delivered the news to me seems like there was a lack of integrity.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
seems as though he did not want to deliver this news
Yes.
because
100%
he didn't believe it was
that it
true
was right.
or
Yeah.
right.
The way he was like, and Dusty, you absolutely killed like the knots and you went so fast and you did all this and you did this so fast. And Wes, you were methodical. And the winner is Wes. You got it. Like, what? Yeah, I completely agree. TJ's demeanor seemed weird.
It like
Um,
he did not agree with this result.
yeah.
Like almost like he was fighting with producers back and forth for like integrity. You know what I mean? Like that's what it felt like. He's like, Wes, man, you got
Someone
this.
needs to
You
pay for
won.
the Patreon.
You're actually, we can't hear you right now, but I understand what you meant. What Michelle said was someone needs to pay for the Patreon so we can hear all the tea. You're frozen now, Michelle, just so you know.
Sorry.
That's okay. So yeah, Wes has apparently been defeated 4 times in knots, so he was not happy that there was going to be knots here. But by 37 seconds, apparently Wes wins this elimination and he's able to stay in the game. Dusty goes home. TJ does say, I'm sure we will see you in the future. And Wes takes Chris's spot. Now, I think I need to just state this. And Matthew, are you still in the chat? Because I really distinctly remember saying that all the vets need to get on the same team so they can just be a power team. They can win everything, and they're going to be in the same shit position if they lose. So they may as well like try to get on the same team so then they can all be protected if and when they win. And isn't that what they're doing?
Yeah, so the only person who's not on their team is what, Corey?
Corey, and I guess if you look at Josh, that's a bet.
But Josh isn't considered one of the...
No, like if you consider Josh.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought that's what he was going to do. It's just interesting though, because like only one guy and one girl is going to win. So like...
I know. Did you think though that they'd get rid of Chris and not Sebastian?
Oh, right.
Sebastian's on that team. I know they're trying to have numbers, but like they would still have 4 with or without Chris.
Well, is Sebastian from Survivor as well?
Yes, but he's in love with Corey.
My guess is that it's because there's already a relationship between Tori and Sebastian, is my guess. And also because Chris was more openly against Wes, perhaps, and he's like screw you kind of vibes. Because Chris is more openly, again, being kind of a character. Like, hey, that's how you get invited back. Sebastian, where is he? Who is he? What's going on? We haven't seen him at all besides, ooh, I have a crush on Tori. Like, that many people, that happens to many people. So you got to stand out some way else, Sebastian, because right now you're just another shade of Emmanuel to me. Like, you're not serving me anything.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So Cassidy is pissed now that Wes is on her team. Why? You want to run the final with Wes? Like it's something that you would want. like if you make it together to the final, him as a partner it would help you win. So yeah. I don't know what her freaking problem is. It's really annoying.
They just need to have a conversation.
Maybe they will now that they're on the same team. He'll be like, listen, I know that Desi is your is another Survivor person, but she told me to vote that way, and that's the way I did vote because I was just wanted to give my team person who they wanted, and I thought that was you. I'm sorry, I didn't know you enough to protect you to say no, I'm not doing that. I just gave her what she said she wanted. That's it. Jeez Louise. All right, well that's pretty much it for this episode. Who's our MVP? Do we have any fights this episode? Oh yeah, we did. Okay, hold on.
Dusty.
Fight points. Dusty and Tiffany.
And then who else fought?
I think that's it. Kyler here is saying that there's been no indication the final will have partners. I mean, almost every final that we've seen in the last decade, haven't they been switching off partners at least?
Yes.
Do we agree that MVP goes to Wes?
I mean, I guess it kind of has to, right? Because the whole episode was about him.
Yeah.
Like, he was the MVP of the episode. He had the emotional storyline. He had the underdog storyline. He had the victorious storyline. He had the drama. He kind of had everything. So I think, yeah.
I don't have any other.
We could give to Tiffany, yeah. I mean, because Tiffany was just like, all right, I don't know. She made me laugh this episode. Yeah, I guess Tiffany's the only other person that I was like, ooh, I'm entertained by you slightly in this episode, But I think he kind of has to go to Wes. I don't know.
All right, I don't have any other contenders, so I will agree with this for sure. So 5 points, 5 each for Dustin and Tiffany. Most valuable player has been Wes. Most entertaining player this episode is Tiffany. Someone was saying that maybe the reason why Dusty was upset with Tiffany is that he knows that she's hooking up with Bananas and he's jealous.
That could be part of it too, or like that he knows she has an in a different way, or that she knew more than she did, or whatever. Yeah,
Or like they just said she's closer than him than he'll ever get.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Suzanne Speaks says, go to hell, Dusty. Tiffany wins MEP for me based on that delivery alone. 100%. Done.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for this episode. Do you have anything else to say that we didn't talk about?
No, I think we covered it. And I hope the next episodes have a little bit better editing skills. And at least, Wes is back, and hopefully the eliminations aren't so crappy. Next episode.
Sometimes I need the producers to come and like defend shit. I want to hear what they have to say sometimes, Like it's just annoying that like it's always just up to speculation and stuff like that. Wait, Willie says I never saw Bananas hook up with Tiffany. Neither have we. But the fact that he would not vote for Tiffany, we don't know why. And our easiest assumption is because they're hooking up. So we don't actually know this. We are fully spreading rumors. But there's a possibility because he does sleep with everybody or hook up.
Yeah.
He always hooks up with someone and we don't necessarily know about it on the show. So he's never alone. We'll just say that. All right. Well, Brittany's saying that the vets need to actually start playing the game and stop complaining about numbers. I mean, they have to complain about numbers because that's what the Survivor and Big Brother people have over them. There's no playing the game if you don't play the numbers. So, I mean, it's all in the same, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, thank you, everybody in the chat. I know this was a surprise time. I should be live on Friday with the boys talking about week 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7's power rankings. So where everybody sits right now. We should be going live probably for us on Friday as well. Maybe we'll figure it out. But thanks everybody for being here. You guys are the best. So much fun. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already.
Woo!
Like this video, and let's continue to rig or not to rig. That is the question. And I also want to know, what was my other question? To rig or not to rig?
Do you think this is Wes's last season?
Do you think it's Wes's last season? And do we think or believe that Bananas and Tiffany have a something? And what is going on with Wes unfollowing Desi and Josh? Let's talk about it in the comments. Bye, everybody. Ciao,